Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to All Beer Inside interviews. Today we are in the Saint-Eustache area with Microbrasserie Noire et Blanche and with Jan, the owner and brewer. Thank you for having us today. So what's the Noire et Blanche beer story?
I start as brewer in Boreal in 2000, not as brewer, but as journalier in French. So it's a guy who made almost everything.
Okay.
At first, I was putting bottle on the bottling line, or put it cases out of the and put it on pallets. So I worked there for about 5 years, and in 2004 I take like the brewer job. Starting from there, two of my friends, Fred and Pascal, who are the owner with me there. They were talking to open like an auberge. Do like hikings and stuff like that beside of that. And after a bit of talk, we talk about maybe putting a brewery inside of the project. So in 2010, we start planning it, do a couple of brew at home for a test for the brewery. And in 2011, Pascal does the a program to help people to do their business.
Okay.
So he put a year building all the work progress, plan d'affaires in French. And we doesn't want at first to be in Saint-Eustache, because we know that they're not open to have a bar. So we start looking around, like in the Laurentides, Saint-Agathe, Saint-Adèle, close up there. And we see the place here when we were looking around, and we love it. So we start to build the project to be here. And that's the first thing we do. It's to look how to build a restaurant. So at first, we doesn't want to have a restaurant in it. We want to do food, but not a full restaurant. So we have to do that here first. So the first 5 years was already almost only restaurant. I was brewing elsewhere, like at Brasserie de Montréal, where I was working when we started here. Okay. And after that, when I start working here almost every time, we do a couple of brew at Brasserie Limitée, which is close over here, a couple of time at Brasserie de Montréal also, a couple of other places, and we decide to enter in the Ma Brasserie. It's the cooperative. So I started working there a couple of months after they start the project at Ma Brasserie. So I brewed there for about a year, helping put the thing in place. And at the same time, we were building the brewery just aside of here. So I was doing the two at the same time. So that's almost the story before we had the brewery here.
Cool.
And we have the brewery for 3 years now, and it's doing pretty well.
Awesome. So you brought us some delicious beers. What's the first one you brought us today?
The first one is the Catch and Release.
Okay.
It's kind of hybrid between a Northeast IPA and a Pilsner.
Okay.
So it's a recipe I built for the Catch and Release. It's the name of the album of a band of friend of us.
Okay.
The band is called Down Memory Lane.
Okay.
It's a punk rock, old school punk rock band. So that's the second beer we do for them.
Okay.
The first one was a Northeast IPA called Vis Caché. So it's almost the same recipe, but I use another yeast in it.
Okay,
so
perfect.
It's pretty cool.
So what's the alcohol percentage about on this?
6.5.
Okay. So we say toast, but we go like toast. So a toast. Ooh, smells very clean.
A little bit of peach.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's crispy also.
I get a little bit of bitterness on
Clear
the side
also.
of my tongue. Yeah.
Clear also. But
especially a New England hybrid, to be this clear is very, very impressive.
Yeah.
This is a very good beer.
Yeah.
This is something I could, 6.5% is a little high to be drinking it all day long. This is a very good beer though. So what were some of the difficulties and roadblocks you came into creating Noire et Blanche out here?
As I told before, the place with only like a restaurant, we only can sell alcohol with a restaurant. That's the first thing. Also, dealing with people who want to drink but not eat. We have to sell them a meal. Only at the bar downstairs, we have 40 places that people can only drink, but the rest of the restaurants, also the terrace, people have to eat on it. After a couple of years, we do the things well. Cups came in here a couple of times, see what we do, and the city decided to offer us to have a bar permit, but on the terrace. So people can come here and only drink on the terrace. So in the afternoon, it's pretty cool to have this. It's helped a lot.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I've never been on the terrace because I've only been here in either like the late fall or like now during the winter. So I've never seen the terrace. I know there's a beautiful water out there that I've seen before, but I didn't even know you had a terrace. So that's cool. I'll have to come back sometime.
I think it's, if I remember good, it's 156 places on terrace.
Wow, very nice.
So it's pretty big for the summer.
Cool. So the name Noire et Blanche, where does that come from?
Noire et Blanche, it came at first, we start with, when we were planning in 2010, starting with the New World Brewery, Brasseurs du Nouveau Monde, and at the same time, Brasseurs du Monde start their business and put out their name, so we decided to change it. So me and Fred was a colocataire, and we play music in the black and the white note. Pascal and Fred do a lot of drawing, so they changed the paper, and it was always black and white. And all the spectrum of beer you can do, it's between you have the black and the white, but between that they're all almost any kind of beer. All same thing as color, so we decided to go on the artistic side of that with Noire et Blanche.
Very cool. Now, the names are super original when I come here. Like I mentioned before the show, the Bruce Willis, the Sylvester Stout Salone. What made you come up with like these very interesting names?
The Bruce Willis was starting at the Soirée des Brasseurs in Shawinigan. The Trou du Diable do like a brewer party each year, and we just brewed for the first time the Bruce Willis. During the night, one of my co-owners said, "We have to find a name for Rebel with rye in it." So people start to put out name, and a guy said Bruce Willis, La Rousse Illustrée. So we stick with those two, and we choose Bruce Willis. And the thing is funny is that, like on August, we hired this guy to be like one of the directeur général, the general director. So it's pretty cool that this guy came with the name Bruce Willis at that time.
And the labels are very artistic. Where does these? Who created these? Where did these come from?
The drawer, it's Louis-Philippe Bastien, who was a friend of us, and for all the type, we decide with the beer. So this one is a Texas Brown Ale. The second one, this one we put out here at first during the time when Trump was talking about building his wall. So Texas and everything. So we have two people working here was Mexican. So we put them on the label and put hops. So we always start with a kind of weird idea and put it on label.
Yeah, they're very wild, very creative.
One thing of my co-owner Pascal said a lot. It's we're really serious in the job and things like that, but on the label we put all the craziness we can do.
That's awesome. Okay, what's the second beer you brought?
The second one is the one we just talked, the Au Pied du Mur. That's why we find the name also. It's a brown ale, really, really hoppy. So you have a kind of a little jam, orange jam side with a bit of caramel, and it's pretty cool. 6.5 also.
Oh yeah, that's very nice. I get it's almost like coffee on the side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's one of the beer that we sell pretty good here, but on the market a little less. Maybe it's a style less expected by people.
And what made you as a company decide the bottles over canning or anything like that?
At first, we choose this bottle because they are more solid, and we doesn't want to have like a lot of bottles. So because we do a lot of Saison, we prefer that one, and also it's powered by convention.
Okay.
So
okay.
we do with the MBQ, where I think 28 brewery were using this bottle part-time, full-time, and it's allow us to everyone to pick it up, and we just like spread
spread the love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about switching to cans? Is that a potential?
For now, no. Les Quebec prefer the bottle because they are easily reusable, either of the can, but all the market prefer can because it's easier to get rid of. But for now, we're gonna stay on bottle. Here in the brewery, it's a little small, so I cannot have a canning. And I check with the session canning, and it's too big to put it there for a couple of days and put it up. So for now, it's gonna be only bottles. We'll check with the future project.
I mean, during the summer, I prefer to have cans if I'm at the beach or if I'm playing sports with my friends. So, but the bottles, I mean, it's easier if you're sitting down on a terrace, let's say.
We have the chance maybe sooner to do it in can with Microbrasserie, but for now we're planning only to brew to bottle here.
Okay. What's the first beer you ever brewed?
The first one I ever brewed, it's maybe the Boréal Blonde or the Boréal Rousse.
Okay, so you actually started on a commercial scale and not homebrew?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I started, as I said, in 2004. They opened up a job of brewer there, so I apply on it. And at that time, I was drinking beer, but not be so interested by that. But as working in it and working with René Massé, who exchange me his passion. So it's starting to be good. And at that time, you can go at the IGA and buy Alambic. It was Framboisen and cream from Leafman, I think.
Okay.
So
yeah,
6 and 15. Yeah. We're starting to have this back with the SRQ.
I'm very impressed with some of the IGAs have very impressive microbrews. Now the one near where I live there's an entire, like the size of this upper area is their fridge of craft beer. I'm like, I love you, IGA. Where did you come up with this? So you mentioned you used to work for Boréal and you have a associate at Microbrasserie.
Yeah.
So have you collabed? Have you made a collaboration with anyone?
For now, we have do collab with Vagabond. Because Nick was a good friend of mine and we were brewing, the two were brewing at Brasseur de Montréal. Either of that, we do a collab with L'Hermite, who we were supposed to do it back in spring. We just do a collab with Les Grands Bois.
Okay,
we do the Dave Killer Carlson lager, so it's a killer beer. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty good also.
Okay. Anybody you'd like to collaborate with that you haven't yet?
I started with Quebec. We have a talk at the MBQ with Tête d'Allumette.
Okay.
So
cool.
Only for the side of boiling with the wood. It'd be pretty cool. There's a lot. Hildegarde, Philippe Tremblay, who's now at Saint-Buck.
Okay.
Another one I really like to do a collab with it. I'm really open.
Yeah.
It depends really on what we want to brew.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I find a lot of the brewers are very mutual to each other and they're very almost competitive, but at the same time willing to cooperate. Yeah. So it's very, very cool. What's the third beer you brought us?
The third one, it's a weird thing we do. It's called Insurrection Britannique. It's English IPA, but we do a kettle sour in it.
Okay, so, interesting.
Yeah.
This is also a higher ABV, or?
I think it's 5.7.
Toast. Wow, that is interesting.
Yeah, it's.
Is that like an apple? I'm kidding.
No, yeah, you're right because of the acidity.
Okay.
It's bring that up front. A little bit of citrus also.
Yeah.
But you have like a weird caramel and hoppy side on the side. Pretty.
It's caramel is very, very faint, but it's there. It's very complex.
People like it or
hate it. Yeah. That's I mean, we have a friend, he absolutely hates IPAs and loves stouts, and we have a friend who not a big fan of stouts and loves it. So, but I'm pretty much willing to
You see,
try
at first,
anything.
I was brewing at Microbrasserie at this time, and we do the first IPA my friends will have to taste, and they were hated it. And now you ask Fred what he wants to drink, and it's always IPA. So
Yeah.
your taste is développé.
Yeah, I was the same way. I used to just drink regular, mass-produced beer, and then I was working next to where the Mondial moved to Windsor, and then I'm like, oh, what's this? I'm going to try this. I'm like, whoa, beer can have flavor. Oh my God, so much good beer. But I got some bad ones too. I had one that was it tasted just like terrible bitterness. It's almost like they put 1 billion hops and just a bit of water. It was so not good. But
yeah, I remember going to Sergent Recruteur à l'époque, and they have a bitter, but it tastes like pellets, hot pellets straight. So.
Yeah, that's not good. So have you done any beer vacations?
It's been a long time since I do it, but I do almost Vermont, a bit of Ontario, but not. I plan to go in Europe like this year if I can. Maybe starting with Czech Republic, Germany.
Yeah, I know Czech Republic is really a lot of the guys I've talked to. They really want to go to the Czech Republic. So and I'd love to go to Germany this year personally too. So Germany and Belgium I'm trying to do because I want to go to a monastery and drink beer with a monk. I think that'd be great. So brewers like to share the love. Is there any breweries you'd suggest to try after people have tried it here?
Saint Graal in Sainte-Thérèse, pretty good place. They just start to have a bigger brewery with Stark, I think. Also, Adieu du Ciel, for sure. A new one who started is pretty good. Also, Saint John in Flagship. They're almost on an IPA direction.
St. John, because there's another one in Saint. Yes,
Saint. Not Saint John, Sir John.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you mentioned it's a restaurant as well.
Yeah.
Do you have beer and food pairings, or?
We put some, almost the Saint-Eustache, the Bruce Willis, because they are always on tap. But either of that, we have like a spice meal that all suited to be with an IPA. So because we do a lot of IPA on rotation, we just say IPA. So that's almost the 3-1. Maybe we can do more, but the beer on tap change almost every time, so it's difficult.
Yeah, and I'm aware you're going through renovations right now. Is that to expand the restaurant or make a big kitchen? Or?
It's more to be more efficient.
Okay.
Yeah, we doesn't put enough energy in the kitchen for the first the time we start, and we really have to do back the floor. Okay, because so we put like a sand coat and ceramic.
Cool.
Yeah, in pound.
Okay. Yeah. You'll be back. You've done about March, I understand.
Usually, we're supposed to open back on Friday.
Okay.
31 of January.
Because I know I'd come last fall, and I had your 2 types of beef jerky.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fantastic. It's smoked jerky, and I'm enjoying beer. I'm like, this place is amazing. I have to come back here. This is the first time I come back.
Well, we do it in the backyard. We buy a big smoker.
So what's the last beer?
The last one is Saison. It's the first brew we do as Noire et Blanche. This version is aged with Brett Closeny and also wood spears. So oak spears that we left in Gin Dandy. Gin Dandy is a gin made by Verger La France with
it's a local gin.
Yeah, it's a local place. So we really want to put local at front. So that's pretty cool.
It smells wonderful.
Yeah. Either of because we cannot do like barrel age here. We try more on the little wood.
Yeah, like to try and present the wood aging.
Yeah,
I get it. Is that like a breadish? I'm getting something I'm not 100% sure on. It's almost like a cinnamon or like a spice I'm tasting.
Yeah, but that's from the wood.
Okay.
Maybe if I remember, the gin was flavored with apple flower.
Okay.
So it's a great mix.
Yeah. It's very, very complex. Very, very complex.
Cool.
It's very good beer.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's next for Noire et Blanche? Expansion, another restaurant.
For now, we're gonna look like how the kitchen's gonna go, but we want to be more upfront for the market. I cannot brew that much more.
Okay.
But we have to be sure that the beer is going to sell well on the market, because there's so much brewery starting at this time. The shelf space is less. So we want to put more energy on selling the beer, and with that, planning to make another brewery, a bigger one.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I've got no other questions for you. Let everybody know where they could find you online, in person. Just let people know where they can find you.
Online, almost the Facebook page Microbrasserie Noire et Blanche, but also La Boutique Noire et Blanche. We also have an Instagram account, and we have the website. It's noiretblanche.ca.
Okay.
With two
dashes,
lines, dashes between the E and the color name. So that's almost that. We doesn't have everything up front for the social media.
Awesome. So we're going to put everything in the show notes. We're going to put the address as well. So if you're ever in the region of Quebec, Montreal, it's not that far of a drive. So Montrealers, come up, make your way to Saint-Eustache. As for us, allbeerinside.com for the audio portion, All Beer Inside channel on YouTube, and at All Beer Inside everywhere else. As for that, we always say drink craft, not crap. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.